What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss an upcoming main card bout on this Saturday's UFC 305. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and to help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. We got Mateusz Gamrot taking on Dan Hooker in a lightweight division, man, in a fight that I love. A good fight. You got Gamrot, super effective grappler, against Dan Hooker, who is just like the legitimate embodiment of what a mixed martial artist is, a fighter, a true fighter. Guy who goes out there every single time with the intent to fight, win, and hurt his opponent, right? Dan Hooker is just a game fighter. And against a guy like Gamrot, who's just an athlete, super high fight IQ, and a phenomenal elite grappler. But the one thing that I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to Gamrot, because he's very effective, but I just don't really see him as a fighter. I don't really see him like, yeah, he's a great athlete. He's got good wins over Sarukian, Jeremy Stevens, Jalen Turner, RDA most recently, you know, but like I want to see him fight against a legitimate fighter. Jeremy Stevens, undersized, a little bit past his prime at that time. Lost to Dariush. Dariush was able to kind of match his style in that fight. And I think that Dan Hooker, I think he's going to go out there and I think he's going to have a sense of urgency. He's going to make Gamrot, he's going to punish Gamrot every time that he tries to initiate these grappling situations. Knees, up the middle, elbows, all those things in those clinch situations. I see Hooker really trying to damage Gamrot every single time he tries to initiate, so that as the fight continues, Gamrot is more hesitant, which makes him easier to engage on, easier to hit. A slower target per se, right? Now, not to say that Gamrot's not going to be able to have some success if he goes out there and just fights his fight, dude. I mean, Dan Hooker could be in for a long 15 minutes where he's just going to get wrestle fucked and grappled and just chain wrestled for 15 minutes, and it's just going to be a very frustrating fight, especially if you're looking for some engagement as a fan, or even from Dan Hooker's perspective, right? So in this fight, you know, I expect Gamrot to do what he does best and grapple heavy, fight smart, try to not get hit, and grind out a decision. As to where Dan Hooker, I think, is just going to have to just keep his distance, make Gamrot pay every time he tries to initiate some sort of contact. Front kicks, knees, elbows, 1-2s, leg kicks. Keep it simple, man. Stick to the basics. Keep it fucking simple. That is Dan Hooker's recipe for success in this fight. And I think that, I mean, I'm going to be rooting for him. It's one of those things where I have it 50-50 because Gamrot's just such an elite grappler. He's so effective. But Hooker, man, he's such a fighter. He's game. He makes his opponents pay. Every single time he fights somebody, his opponent knows that they're in a fight. But, yeah. So, I got Dan. I think Dan, maybe by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Gamrot, but I think that he's going to be able to punish him enough for 15 minutes. It might not be, you know, he might lose the first round, but I think, you know, once you start getting into the halfway point into the second round, we might start seeing a tide turn there for Dan Hooker. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. That's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.